Hey, we're excited each and every Thursday. We rock and roll. It's time to be entertained with the East Spot with Camille Kauer. What's up?
Good morning.
What's going on?
How
you doing?
How are you guys doing this week?
We're doing great.
What is it? The second weekend Black History Month?
Yes, right.
Yeah, it goes so fast, and it's a leap year too.
Yeah,
well,
that extra day.
We're getting extra day in the shortest month.
I'm gonna say,
year,
I mean, it goes fast because you don't have but 28.
Well, in my world, it's 365 days a year.
Look at you now. Look at you.
Every
now.
day is Black History Day.
Look at you.
Anywho, speaking of such wonderful things,
especially for me.
Oh. All right, on that note, today on the East Spot, we're going behind the camera again. This time, we're going with Miss Saptosa Foster. She is an award-winning communication strategist. Where am I? Good morning, coffee. With nearly 2 decades of experience in public relations and media, she currently serves as Chief Communications Officer at Sally B. Howard in Wilson School of the Arts and Education. Most recently, Saptosa served as a managing partner of 135 Agency, a strategic communications firm based in New York and Atlanta. So I cannot wait to hear some more about how you got started, where it all began, how you went from Wilson to 135. So share.
Thank you. First of all, good morning. Thank you for having me on. Good morning, guys. I'm from Wilson. Wide Awake, stand up.
Wide Awake Wilson, baby.
Wide Awake Wilson.
Let's do it.
And I was a journalist by trade. I graduated from Spelman with an English degree. Yep. That's and lived in Atlanta for several years. Wrote for a lot of hip hop magazines, like in the early 2000s, late 90s.
Okay. Vibe
Source, Double XL, Complex.
Okay.
Names.
So that was my thing. You know, when I was in Wilson growing up, I really was into hip hop and saw myself kind of, being a part of it in my own way. But then over time, I did the journalism freelance writing thing for almost a decade. And in that time, I started becoming interested in public relations and sort of being a little bit more involved in how stories get out there, how messages are created. And I partnered up with actually an intern. Me and this young lady were interns at Pendulum Records. This was in the 90s. They had
Pendulum.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about Pendulum Records.
I got a call from her one time.
Well, they had Diggable Planets, Boogie Monsters, Lords of the Underground. This is 90s hip hop.
That's what I'm talking about.
And we were, Ruben Rodriguez was the head of Pendulum, and Shantae Bacon, who is still my business partner. Yes. Shantae Bacon, who went on, she's a Hampton graduate. We were both interns at Pendulum. After graduation, she went on to work at Def Jam Records for 8 years in the marketing department. And then in the early 2000s, we linked up and started the 135th Street Agency, which we're now 135th, but yeah.
That's so impressive, because such a male-dominated field, too, to work in hip-hop and so on. What was that like? Like, was there someone that helped make you a space, or did you just go in them and just say, hey, I want this job, and just showed your way, or was someone
It was a lot of hard work. I can tell Shantae's story was when she was at Hampton, she was a college rep for Def Jam, and she did a lot of promotions and marketing campaigns for the artists. At that time, record labels really sort of invested in college marketing, and so she did the work constantly, and so they actually hired her right out of college. They held a position for her at Def Jam. And myself, again, it was work. The male-dominated industry is always going to be there, but you have to decide what your goal is, how you're going to pursue it, and stay true to that. You're going to have to overcome some obstacles, but it is achievable, whatever you want to do in this business.
And the voice you're hearing is Saptosa Foster. She is the one partner of 135 Agency, a strategic communications firm based in New York and Atlanta, who's oversaw campaigns for clients such as Google, the Oprah Winfrey Network, Fox Broadcasting Company, Warner Brothers Pictures, and Bounce TV. She is a native of North Carolina, and as she mentioned earlier, you did graduate from Spelman, so at HBCU in the building. Tell us a little bit more about your career and what brings you back to North Carolina.
Well, we spent, our business is 15 years old, and we spent that time, Shantae and I, building a company, building a team of really hardworking marketers and publicists. And we do a lot of grassroots marketing, strategic marketing, digital marketing for film and television shows. So, you know, anything from Empire to Queen Sugar.
I'm going to have a guest from Empire next week.
Okay, all right.
Surprise guest.
You know, films from Warner Brothers and Disney and all of that. We help get the word out for those productions. And, you know, I've learned so much from that. But I've always had a heart for my community. Even during my career, I volunteered in political campaigns. I was chair of the Black Women Film Network, which was based in Atlanta. So there's a lot that I always would, you know, supplement my day with some kind of give back. And so me being from Wilson and Sally B. Howard School, having been in existence for 22 years, it's a high performing school, a B school on our way to becoming an A for 3 consecutive years. And it was my you know, vision or my dream to at some point come back and give back to the community in that way. Bring all my talents from that from my career to the school.
Again, here on the E-Spot, you're listening to the voice of Saptosa Foster, who joined 135 and helped lead the way the agency to win 8 NAMIC Excellence in Multicultural Marketing Awards, the Emma, including 5 1 place and 3 second place honors. She is 2015's PR News Top Women in PR honoree and has been featured in Black Enterprise, Essence, Vibe, Vixen, and on the Food Network. She is the former chair of Black Women Film Network that she just mentioned, a nonprofit with the mission of preserving the voice of Black women in film and television. And also, she were just mentioning about Sally B. Howard. So tell us more about your connection to Sally B. Howard and more about that school, because how can kids get into that school? Is there like an audition process? Like, how does that work?
So Sally B. Howard currently is a K-8 school. It is a free public charter school. It is a performing arts school. We teach the standard.
Keyword free.
Free, right. People think it's private.
It's a charter school.
It's a charter school.
Okay, that's
free
right.
public charter school. People,
okay.
you know, still after 22 years think it's a paid private school. It's a free public charter school. We are opening a high school in August. This is a huge deal. We're going to open with 9th and 10th grade, and then we'll add a grade each year. So currently I am working on the campaign to get the word out about the school. You can register online at sallybhowardschool.com. Right now it's open enrollment for all grades. And keyword in that
is Sally, SALLIE, not Y.
Thank you for that. Yes, SALLIE, bhowardschool.com. The school was named after an educator from Wilson. She actually passed away just recently at the age of 102. Wow. But she was born in Wilson in 1916. She graduated from Kittrell College, which is an HBCU from years ago that's no longer in existence, but also Hunter College. She was one of the first African-American teachers in the public school system in the 50s in New York City. And she taught there for almost 30 years, retired, came back to Wilson in 1979, and then she linked up actually with Dr. Joanne Woodard in 1989 to launch the Youth Enrichment Program, which was a summer camp, because the whole goal was to give students in Wilson something to do in the summers. And when that happened, the juvenile incidents started to go down in the summer. And that summer camp was so successful. After 8 summers, it launched the birth of Sally B. Howard School, because the parents were like, I don't want this type of program just for the summer. I need year-round educational experiences and opportunities. And so Sally B. Howard School was born in 1997.
Wow.
And that's actually our spotlight for Black History Month is about Sally B. Howard. And you guys have a contest going on right now with the kids as well. Tell a little bit about that as well.
We have, a lot of times when we graduate from institutions that are named after people, we don't always know the story of that namesake. And so we have just launched a contest in a school-wide contest in our school for them to create projects about Mrs. Howard. There were so many things about her. She was an actress and a playwright. she, in addition to being a teacher, she was with the American Negro Theater in the 1940s, and she performed with Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Esther Rolle, and she also traveled to 40 different countries. This woman was amazing, and she was right here from Wilson County. And so she's just a model for us that we can come from small places, humble beginnings, and do great things no matter your circumstances, because she grew up on a sharecropper's farm. And so she overcome those issues or challenges to be, to make a huge impact on millions of or thousands of kids.
Millions. It's going to be millions.
Yeah.
You said it. Go ahead and put it out there. 102 years. She's made quite an impact.
She has.
So also, I just want to make sure, because there's not many chances that we get to talk to somebody that's a publicist that's worked with Vibe and Vix and so on. So what was that like? What were working with the different rappers or different entertainers? Like, let us know as North Carolina people. Let us in on what it was like in your life and the fancy glitz and glam of publicist life. Is it really that exciting and fun and all the parties?
When I was younger and when I was writing for magazines, it was exciting to me. Just the idea that, look what I'm doing. I didn't necessarily find the experience actually interviewing the rappers exciting.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Was it because they were on that wacky icky you guys were talking about earlier, sleeping on you?
Sticky icky.
That 420.
When you take away the screen, the facade, the glitz, when you're sitting in front of somebody talking to them, it is a very different experience.
Yeah, a lot of times they're introverts.
But sometimes they're, actors, to be honest, and they're very prepared and they want to present some type of narrative. So you never know who you're getting. I did a lot of investigative reporting. Actually, I reported on when Mace, that moment he left Bad Boy. Yeah, but
what do you
years
think about
ago,
that?
Which part?
Well, now recently where he came out saying that P. Diddy owes him money and how he's stealing from artists and so on.
Ooh.
Well, I think what Mace posted online was very fair from an artist perspective. I think it's fair to voice his opinion about that. I always, advocate for people's, for artists' rights and for people to own their content. So I think he did that in a respectful way. But what I reported on was when he first departed from Bad Boy, which was very sudden, and he moved to Atlanta and became the pastor of a church. Right. So I did that. I reported on the Mystical situation.
Tell us about that
Danger!
one.
I mean, there's not much.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Even like with, look, I'm just thinking about right now with Gayle King and the whole Kobe Bryant situation, and just Mystical's very close in the regards of being convicted, unlike Kobe Bryant. Like, as a publicist, how would you have handled that situation?
Well, which part of the situation?
With Gayle King, do you think she went too far in that with the questioning? And then also with Mystical, do you think, what do you think about? Like, how do you think it's moving forward? Can he still have his career without that being brought up every time? Or do you think he's paid his price? Like, since you were investigating it, you actually probably read all the transcripts and everything.
It's very disturbing. So about Gayle King, I think she was well within her right to ask the question. I thought the interview was very well balanced. I do think she could have worded that comeback a different way, to be a little bit more sensitive to the context. But I think, Gayle is a hard news journalist, and she was really focused more on the facts, in which these are the facts. Unfortunately, as a public figure, you have to people are going to take present the bitter with the sweet. Right. When it comes to Mystical, I never interviewed him. I went to investigate. This was while he was in prison. I actually did this for XXL. Shout out to Vanessa Satin, my editor at the time, and she's still editor at XXL. And it was really just a matter of reading court documents, speaking with lawyers. I, tried to speak with the victim as well. But it was disturbing. And I think after something like that, if you are in the public, that will always be a part of your story, unfortunately. And I think it is fair for journalists to do their job to bring those issues up.
Again, and the voice you're listening to right now is Saptosa Foster. She's here on the E-Spot with Camille. So let us all know how we can keep up with you, how to also get involved with Sally B. Howard, how we can support Give us all your information.
So, Sally B. Howard, you can follow us on social media at Sally B. Howard. That's SALLIE Howard. We are currently in our open enrollment period where we are looking for students K through 10 at this point to enroll for the upcoming year. On social media, my name is spelled S as in Sam, A, P as in Paul, T like Thomas, OSA. M is in Mary Foster. That's my Instagram. That's where you can find me. But yeah, I really love what I do. I love working both in entertainment and in the educational field. And I do invite people to kind of take a look at what we're doing right in Wilson County.
Hello.
You know, there are some progressive things happening for our
we've
students.
Had quite a few people come through from Wilson because Christopher Everett, I believe, was from Wilson. Who else did I interview?
There's a couple other people.
Yeah, Miguel Nunez. Monica Benton, like a lot of people in the film industry are from Wilson. So that's really something's going on in that water over there.
Well, some good home training. That's one. Some good home training. And then future actors and technicians and scientists graduating from Sally B. Howard School. So get ready for a pipeline of talented greats coming out of Wilson. Thanks to Sally B. Howard School. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming in today. I cannot tell you how much I'm impressed by you guys.
Down there.
No,
for real. Sally B.
I got this show I want you to tell people about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's the budget?
See what I'm saying? Hey, she came right there. What's
Start
the
with the
budget?
B word.
She what they call a professional.
All right.